Hey everyone, welcome back to a brand new series for this channel, which I hope to continue for many other big events. In this series, I'll be reviewing different events and possibly games in my own opinion, and we'll go in depth with the review as well. This video will be a bit of an exception, however, since we're reviewing the Egg Hunt, and guess how many games that has? That's right, 49 freaking games. I've compiled a large spreadsheet for each of the Egg Hunt games and written down whether or not I've obtained the egg, since let's face it, I'm not spending 3.5 hours flopping around as a fish to get some dumb egg. You'll see it's coming up shortly. So in this one video, I'll be covering every single game within the Egg Hunt while following the format of the path of discovering the egg, opinions, then verdict out of 10. Each game will get a score out of 10 like I just said, and at the end, we'll see which game did the best and which game did the worst. Also, before starting, if some of you are crying in the comments, oh Zach, you didn't get the egg, that means you didn't have enough evidence to have a verdict on it. Technically, yes. But when I didn't get an egg, I had enough gameplay shown to know what the egg was about and how it was executed. Alright, with that out of the way, let's get started. Alright, this egg is very simple. Collect 30 golden eggs found everywhere around the map, and you get your prize, the Venture Egg. The thing about this is, the eggs are server based, which means that other players can grab them too. But it also means they respawn, where the problem actually is. You can easily sit in one area where a lot of eggs spawn and constantly get eggs over and over. It took me less than 4.5 minutes to get this egg. Also, weren't for the clunky controls of the vehicles in this game, it would have received a higher rating. Final rating for Ventureland's egg, 6.5 out of 10. To get the fried chicken egg, you just need to pick up 5 chicken legs that are dropped. However, it only spawns sometimes and zombies are holding them, so you don't need to be the one killing them. Heck, I even died and spawned as a zombie and I'm still able to collect some. It felt even easier to get in the Ventureland egg, especially since you were able to make other people do the hard work for you. Making it so that other people can steal the chicken legs, and even as a zombie, makes the score for this egg plummet. Final score for Zombie Rush's egg, 5 out of 10. Let's get the other zombie game out of the way, shall we? To get the Giga Zombie, you just have to complete a boss fight against this huge egg mech, which I thought was pretty cool. A lot of these games utilize boss fights to get the egg, which some of them do well, but some are just lazy attempts, which we'll get to soon. Anyways, back to the matter at hand. The mech has a few main attacks. The first attack, which is the most common attack, is that it just jumps around the map. It makes waves that you just need to jump over. The next attack is a minion wave, which sends out a bunch of rabbit zombies. And finally, its last attack is an egg storm. It sends out tons of eggs that can really damage you if you're not careful. I personally really like this boss, however the difficulty curve is more on the really easy side, being able to easily heal and taking little to no damage from the meg's attacks. It causes the score to drop just slightly. I'm giving the Zombie Strike egg an 8.5 out of 10, clearly the better zombie egg. Adopt Me's egg is probably one of the best eggs for showing off core gameplay and functions of the game. To get the Adopt Me chick egg, you must raise and hatch an egg, which is given to you when you play during the event. Basically, you need to feed it when it's hungry, give it beverages when it's thirsty, put it to bed when it's tired, and wash it when it needs to. Once you've done all that, you get the egg. The great thing is, if you're stuck for a while trying to find out where to go next, there's even arrows that show up after a while showing where to go next. The egg is a great example of how to convey the game to a different audience and even attract new players to the game. Final score for Adopt Me's egg, 9 out of 10. For the Mission Egg Possible egg, you must find and hold a golden egg until the end of the round and survive. The only thing is that there's a wolf who can see where you are, if you have the egg or not, and just target you. Plus the time limit is so strict, so you may not even have time to find the damn thing. Even in a private server, which I did break the rules for this egg hunt challenge, we still didn't get the egg, since we just couldn't find the spawn within a time frame. This egg is a pain, and is one of the few I purposely skipped. Final rating for a wolf or other's egg, 2 out of 10. To get the Egg of Hearts, you must go to a specific world that is for the egg hunt and talk to a random girl, which you probably know if you played, and get a quest to do. I really like the combat mechanic in this game, but the only thing that the mission is quite boring. All you have to do is collect a few items that drop from enemies in certain regions, and then you get the egg.
Like I said earlier, the combat mechanic could have been used much better and not as plain and simple. With that said, the egg still shows out the gameplay pretty well, however the pathing is also quite confusing with invisible walls everywhere. Final rating for Astral Egg, 6 out of 10. Now here's a game I never heard of before the event started. To get the egg, you have to find this temple in the woods and complete a few puzzles to unlock the egg. I love this exploration, since you were given a general direction, but not exactly led to the place. And the puzzles were very well made and thought out, and it clearly looked like there was effort put into them. With that in mind, this game's final rating is a 9.5 out of 10. Amazing work. Hero Havoc is quite an odd game, which I bought paid access to a while back. For the heroic egg of Owlsomeness egg, you must talk to this rabbit and collect 10 eggs for him, but the catch is, they randomly spawn when you attack these owl things. I'm just going to cut to the chase. This game got a 3 out of 10, only due to how it could have been so much better. However, having an item that is an extremely rare drop was very annoying, and possibly could have been a special type of owl that could have had a 100% chance of dropping at least one egg. But no, I'm stuck grinding for a solid 10 minutes of just spam clicking to get the egg. This egg is pretty terrible, and it has so much more potential to be a great one. Deathrun is one of my favorite games on the site, but I won't have any bias towards the game in that matter. To get the explosive artifact of energy egg, you must collect 15 of these energy cores to power up a drill found in the lobby, and they're found all over the maps. The great thing is that you must play the game and actually traverse the maps to collect them, so it requires you to actually get used to the game, which I like. They're also put into pretty easy to reach spots and aren't that hard to get, which is very nice for newer players. Once you get 15 cores, you talk to a guy back in the lobby and watch a cool cutscene, then get your egg. I really like the cutscene and seeing how the difficulty curve is right in the middle of being really easy, but also requiring some skill. However, I do feel like the ghost mode made getting those cores a little too easy. I give the Deathrun egg an 8 out of 10. Alright, let's head back to one of the murder games for more disappointment. Murder does a similar thing that Wolf Other does, and requires you to kill a person who is holding an egg as a murderer, and then you get the shady subject egg. The thing is, you have to wait to become the murderer, which took 35 minutes for me. Well, we're finally the murderer, so let's get the egg. Yeah, so basically I got randomly killed by a detective twice in a row while trying to get this egg on a public server. The second time it took me even longer to become the murderer, with a total of around 45 minutes, but I didn't feel like recording it. Basically, use a VIP server to get this egg, and just farm it off your friends. Especially since there are only 10 Robux, and it's not that hard to get the egg otherwise. Since this egg is extremely time consuming, and they really should have made it better, especially using the murder mechanics, maybe even having the egg be given after picking up a certain amount of objects on the map. Even if that's boring, I would have preferred it more than this version. Final rating for Murder's Egg, 2 out of 10. Let's go from a bad egg to a good egg, shall we? To obtain the egg of hidden treasures, you must strategically bring the egg a few areas down the river, and bring it to the dragon to be dropped into a chamber where the egg is held. I love this egg, especially since you need it to be creative, and strategize how you'll keep the egg safe. It's great how there isn't a path of quests that you must do, and it's all up to yourself to get the egg there in one piece. This egg is completely perfect to me, and shows exactly how an egg hunt should be capable of doing. Final rating for Build-A-Boat Treasures Egg, 10 out of 10. Flawless egg in my opinion, and definitely should be used similarly for later hunts as well. Here we have Flop. To get the fish egg, I have no idea what the name is, especially since the badge doesn't have the name with it. You must find an egg in the map. Simple enough, right? Wrong. This egg is visible within the map. However, to move around the map, you must flop around. No boy, these controls aren't the best. Oh, and another thing about the egg. As soon as someone else grabs it, it teleports to another random spot on the map. Talk about a lazy egg, right? The reason why I'm hating on this game so much is that it has custom physics and everything. It could have been an amazing egg. But nope. The owner was lazy, slapped a few lines of code together to get the egg. There's even a grab mechanic that this game has, and could have been used for a puzzle or something. Flop's terrible egg gets a score of 0.5 out of 10. This is probably the worst egg in this egg hunt. Hotel Stories is yet another basic story game, suggested by the title. Therefore, you'll have to complete a specific chapter that was created for the event. The premise of the story is that Easter is being ruined by some snakes, and you need to help the bunny by killing all the snakes in his den. After you defeat all the snakes and survive to the end, you get the Wicked Egg of Calamity. The snakes also have very bad hitboxes, and sometimes you don't even hit them with the egg launcher you're given. I could tell there was some effort put in, but the mission felt a bit rushed and a tiny bit too short to get the egg. There is also a boss fight, but it's optional just to get a badge. If they made the boss fight mandatory to get the egg, the rating would have been a lot higher. Final score for the Hotel Stories egg, 7 out of 10. To obtain the Royal Egg of Bearers, you must complete a few tasks. First off, you must find a key that is found around the map. There are multiple keys in random spots around the map, so it's not too hard to get one yourself. Once you get that said key, you can open a door to a new place, and it's a big puzzle. You must study the note and read the pages carefully, and punch the same colors into the code machine. Finally, you need to do some jumps and snatch the egg. I personally love the build-up for this egg. The places you went to were cool, and I love the puzzle that was in the middle of it. Only if the key finding was a tad bit better, it would have had a tiny bit higher score, and possibly even a 10. Final score for Bear's Egg, 9 out of 10. You may be wondering, if you're one of those people that like to snoop around my inventory, I may be wondering why I don't have this egg. Well, I'm one of those people who want to just get it over with this egg. I lost 4 times in a row to get it, and it took up 2 hours of my time. Basically, all you need to do to get this egg is beat around 4 or 5 waves of zombies to obtain the Tower of Eggs egg. However, these 4 or 5 waves are insanely difficult, which makes getting this egg one of the hardest. You need to have coordinated teammates, which I clearly did not have, and work together and win. The only thing wrong with this egg I see is how hard the final boss is. Every time I took it on, my team and I didn't even get half its health down. Final score for Tower Defense Simulator's egg, 8.5 out of 10. To get the Ghastly egg, you must go into a special portal that takes you to the event world. Once you get there, you must complete a few sets of missions, which differ from capturing certain types of ghosts to battling a huge bunny boss. I do believe the boss fight was the best part of the egg. The rest of the egg was completely boring and stale missions, not to mention that they're repetitive. Final rating for Ghost Simulator's egg, 5 out of 10. To get the Desposito egg, you must collect 5 Desposito spiders found around the town. One is located in the park, one is found inside a clothing store, another is in the supermarket, one is located inside the salon, and finally, one inside the school. The only one I had trouble with was inside the school, which took me a while. Otherwise, the egg was very easy. Too easy, in fact. I believe they could have done some minigames or some sort of thing to get some of them, but whatever. Final score for Roblox High School's egg, 7 out of 10. So, for this egg, you have to get the footage from these amazing illustrations I made in Microsoft Paint, simply due to the fact I forgot to record. This egg was way too easy to get in my opinion. You just need to kill around 15 people, which isn't even that much, especially for this game, and you automatically receive the egg munition egg. This egg feels like it's not even a part of the hunt, in that matter, and it feels very boring to complete. With the gunplay, there could have been maybe a special weapon you had to get equipped, and get a few kills with it to obtain the egg. I don't know, but this egg could have been much better. Final score for Bad Business, 3.5 out of 10. This game is pretty great in my opinion, but the egg kinda falls a little short. You just need to collect 30 rainbow eggs, which aren't even the actual egg models, mind you. Then you receive the round cat egg. I think that it's not very exciting to do this, but this is a great example of how to show your game to an audience that may not usually play this game. Forcing you to destroy bricks or kill other players to actually drop the egg makes it how you actually must play the game first and learn the mechanics to do these tasks. However, the small thing is that the eggs dropped aren't even the egg model, and the main issue is that it takes forever to get 30 of these damn things. Other than that, the egg is fine. Final rating for Doomspire's egg, 7.5 out of 10. Now, this is a game which I never saw coming in this event, especially since the last update it had before the event was around 2017. To get this egg, you must jump off all the jumps in the map to get the egg, which is the Eggsicle egg. The easiest way to do this is to not go up the ski lift as soon as you get the snowboard, but just climb back up the mountain again while on the snowboard, since it's just a skateboard geared as a snowboard. Also, this egg is poorly made. For one, it uses a simple part to obtain the egg, and you don't even need to do the jumps correctly. Second, the GUI is stretched so much on the side it makes my eyes burn. But the challenge is unique to the event, and it wasn't easy to figure out where every jump was, since some were hidden away. Final score for Ski Resort's egg, 5 out of 10. To me, the game itself is amazing. I love how much open world they've allowed, and how well it's polished. But we're here to talk about the egg, and it's almost the same rating as the game itself. This egg wasn't very easy to find, until one of my friends told me I went to the wrong spot. There were very subtle hints, and eventually you can find your way to the temple, where the egg lies. But you must complete a challenge first, which of course is where the main points of the egg come in. This challenge was not easy. It was actually one of the hardest eggs I've actually completed in this egg hunt. The jumps were difficult, it was extremely easy to die, and it was really time consuming. Eventually I was actually able to obtain the Doc Holland egg, but it wasn't easy. I say the obstacle course, what that was before the egg, is easily the best part of the egg, but the traversing wasn't very clear on where you need to spawn, and nothing else in the map really helped. Final score for the Wild West egg, 9 out of 10. Oh, Royal High is an egg? Cool, let's check it out. Well, while I was recording and writing this video, the egg at Royal High is so laggy, it crashes the server most of the time, making it impossible to complete. Royal High egg gets a bruh out of 10. To get the Eggobot egg, you must collect 30 eggs around the map. However, you don't even need to use the robots to collect them. You simply just run around the map and you grab the eggs. I believe this is a wasted opportunity, and it easily could have been one of the best eggs if you had to use your robots to destroy a mech or something. But we get stuck with a lazy egg and a boring one as well. Final score for Robot Inc., 4 out of 10. If I were to be quite honest with you, this egg was one of the eggs I completely forgot about, and I remembered almost all of them, which isn't a very good sign. This one is pretty stale and somewhat unique at the same time. You basically need to find a painter in this town, and grab buckets of paint from wells to paint an egg. Very unique idea, but very poorly executed. This egg isn't that bad, but the way you have to run around the map finding wells is just not very fun. Plus, a bunch of people are extremely overpowered and purposely attack people that are in PvP zone trying to get the egg, which happened to me a few times. This doesn't drop the score at all, since there is an RP mode, but it's a self-decision to go into PvP mode. Final score for Monsters of Etheria, 6 out of 10. I don't know anything about planes, or helicopter modeling at that, so this was an experience for me. I know there was a tutorial that you could follow in the bottom right corner, but I wanted to experiment myself. Anyways, to get the egg of the high skies, you must fly your plane to a floating platform in the middle of the map and get the egg. I did obtain this egg, but I did not record when I grabbed it and followed the tutorial. Eggs like these are great. I like to build a boat for treasure egg, but this is one that has a tutorial which ruins a bit of the creativity aspect. This game is very complex and it's easy to see why there needs to be a tutorial. Final score for Plane Crazy's egg, 9 out of 10. To me, this egg wasn't very great. To get the drop leg, you must collect 5 flowers around the map and give it to this huge octopus in the middle of the town. The thing is, you're just running around the map and not actually doing anything related to the droplets, nor any minigames in that matter. This egg could have been much more focused on the droplets, and maybe similar to Adopt Me's egg, but the developers went down a different path, which wasn't really the correct one. Final score for my droplets egg, 4.5 out of 10. Once again, you'll have to use my amazing illustrations, since this egg took me around 1 minute to get and I forgot to record. Anyways, to get the supercharged striker egg, you must break an egg that spawns randomly with power-ups, then you get the egg. This egg is very unique, and I was told by many other people that this egg was a pain to get, but I didn't have any issues. The main issue I found was that only one person per game could get the egg, making it really tedious to get this one. Not really sure if they did change it or not, but I'm hoping they did. If they do, the rating will change from a 7 out of 10 to a 9 out of 10. Ugh, I just want to be very nice to this game, but I just can't. Swarm Simulator's egg is a wasted opportunity. Yes, it can be a great egg, but there's literally zero guidance at all. Oh yeah, you can just cut the vines. Cut the vines with what? You weren't told anything. It took me half an hour alone to find the damn brown bear. I'll just explain this egg in its entirety. To obtain the swarming egg of the hive egg, you must complete 3 missions with 3 separate bears. Complete those missions, then get the egg. Some of these missions were a complete time waster. An example of this is all of the chicken missions, where you must defeat baby chicks within a time limit. But the thing is that they have a lot of health, and most bees only do roughly 1 damage each attack. Therefore you needed a lot of bees to actually defeat them, which makes you have to grind even more. And don't even get me started on the final boss. Your bees need to rest every few minutes, therefore you have a lot of downtime if you don't have many bees with you. I hated this, and most of the time you're just jumping around with any bees. I personally hated getting this egg, and it almost took me an hour and a half to finally get. Final rating for Swarm Simulator's egg, 2 out of 10. Hey everyone, as I was editing this video, I noticed that they actually updated the game to remove all the issues I initially had with the game. Therefore the score will actually be changed in the editing since I'm too lazy to re-record this section. Thank you. Here we have the time travel egg. I'm not sure if this is the actual name or not, but whatever. Anyways, this egg has a lot of issues. Time travel adventures uses a revive mechanic, and therefore makes you pay to continue if your lives run out, which you actually only have 2 lives, and this entire egg mission is extremely long. Plus, the difficulty curve is on the extreme side, especially with some of the areas instantly killing you, making you lose a life. Having the revive option to pace a Robux and continue ahead makes the score for this egg completely plummet, since it has a pay-to-win option to easily get the egg. Yes, the mission isn't that bad, but the main reason why I dislike it is due to this pay-to-win scheme that is happening here. Plus, the difficulty is way too high, and some things do way too much damage as well, such as the boulders in the pig section, which do half of your health or 50 damage. Final score for Time Travel Adventures Egg, 3.5 out of 10. To get the epic egg, you must complete a bunny juggernaut minigame, and win to obtain the egg. It's a very simple egg and very well executed. I say pretty well, though, since for the juggernaut it's completely rigged against them. Each shot with the explosive launcher you're given does about 150 damage, which for a 1v10 is crazy when it adds up. It took me and my team about 10 seconds to defeat the boss, which I believe is ridiculous. If this is changed, the rating will rise up a bit more. Final rating for epic minigames, 7.5 out of 10. Okay, this is dragging on a little too much now. I think we need to fast fire a few games out of the way. Let's pick a few simple games that are within the Egg Hunt. Poor execution, very boring egg. Complete list of missions automatically receive the egg. All tasks are very boring and none of them are very unique. Final rating of the egg, 5 out of 10. Very cool idea to get the egg, but it's also the same for each person on the server, which causes it to be found much easier. Also, the coordinates are a bit buggy sometimes, and it's hard to tell which way you're going. Otherwise, it's a pretty great egg. Final rating, 7.5 out of 10. Almost the same issues as Egg Simulator, but at least the tasks aren't extremely boring and there isn't a mission list you need to do. However, the task takes maybe less than a minute to do and you just need to hack the terminals from the same one each time, making it even easier. Final rating, 5 out of 10. Basically, blow up other tanks until the egg drops and grab it for anyone else. There's also another tank you can buy with Robux, and has a higher drop rate of the egg. Having this causes the score to drop a lot, and since having pay to win mechanics ruins the egg hunt. Final score is 6 out of 10. Boring egg, boring game, boring boss, boring missions. First mission, collect eggs around the map. Second mission, fight a boss. Oh cool, I hope it's fun. Well, nope, we'll just make him walk around and you just spam click on him until he dies, then walk back. Basically, this egg is sleep-inducing, and there clearly was no effort put into this egg. Final rating 2 out of 10. Alright, that got a few out of the way. Let's get back to the regular format now. To get the Tentacle Egg, you must ride 3 roller coasters to get gears to power a rocket to send you to an alien ship that is threatening to destroy a theme park. Then grab the egg and destroy the alien ship. The egg starts off very boring and I disliked it. And I was ready to give it a very bad score until... my jaw dropped. Seeing how amazing this was, it was so unexpected. This final area was amazing. I love how much effort was clearly put into this area. Starting off with a few simple puzzles to solve, dodging cameras, and the aliens themselves to advance, and even running into an escape pod as the ship explodes after you grab the egg. The ending area is phenomenal. However, the beginning was rather boring, but I guess it shows what the game has to offer. Final rating for Theme Park Gravity Oasis, 9 out of 10. This game is quite a quick review to get out of the way. To get the egg-raging egg of the sea, you must grab a key that's floating behind the shark. Once you grab it, go back to the lobby and open the door there, and you'll receive your egg. I thought this egg was pretty cool, however the raft that's pulled is quite buggy, and sometimes you don't even get the key if you run into it. Final rating for Sharkbite, 8 out of 10. To obtain the gourmet egg, you must talk to the lady in the IKEA store repeatedly to get her to open a secret door, which takes you to a secret library where there's a very special hidden recipe inside. Once you take it, the chef will make you complete a Bejeweled minigame. Once you beat it, you can make the recipe you got. Once the customer orders and receives the food, you get the egg. I found this egg to be pretty simple, but that's because I already played this game before, but I'm not going to factor that into the rating. I do believe they told you exactly where to go and not giving hints or anything, which makes it not have a perfect score. Final rating for Restaurant Tycoon 2, 9 out of 10. To obtain the Egg of Cthulhu, you must first venture into the castle basement or swim through some caverns. Once you get through these caverns, you must solve a series of puzzles and make your way through the puzzles to obtain the egg. If you know me, I love puzzles, and having these in this egg is amazing. However, I did realize that much of this egg wasn't actually scuba diving, and more running around and solving puzzles. I spent a good chunk of time in the actual lake looking for stuff, but it was behind the spawn the whole time, without given any direction. I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but I do believe diving could have had a bit more of a factor when it comes to this egg. Final rating for scuba diving at Quill Lake, 7.5 out of 10. I personally like this egg, but I believe it is a bit repetitive and a bit boring. To get the checkered egg, you must complete multiple races in a certain area to obtain eggs. Once you reach 10 eggs, you get the egg. You get 1 egg each race you complete, but a bonus egg if you come in first. In my opinion, the drag races are the easiest way to get the eggs since they're extremely quick, but I think it was a bit boring to continue to have to hold the W key and that's it. I do believe this egg was very unique and quite innovative, but I don't really think it works in this egg hunt. Either way, it works fine. Final rating for Ultimate Driving, 8 out of 10. Now we're getting very close to the end. I really hate this egg, and I do believe it's one of the worst the hunt has to offer. To get the invasion egg, you have to go to a certain marked area on the map, and find 5 eggs that are hidden around the area. Sounds easy, right? No. Once again, this event was poorly organized. The area that you were actually able to find the eggs that spawn is huge, and for the most part the game expects you to have friends to help you out or something. But in every server I joined, I had no one else with me. A lot of people may agree with me on this one, but this egg is easily the worst and the most time-consuming egg of them all. And yes, you only need to put 1 egg on the pedestal and you're automatically teleported, but that's besides the point. They clearly expect you to have other people working with you. Most of them are just playing the game normally. Having a game that is only dedicated to people who actually want to play this mode, which Time Travel Adventures did well actually, makes the audience split from the people who just actually want to play Mad City to the people trying to get the egg. The devs really need to make a good choice next time. Final rating for Mad City's egg, 2.5 out of 10. Having Roblox Britannic in the last year's egg hunt makes the game more reliable and having a decent egg for the hunt. Even last year's egg was pretty great. This one isn't much different. To get the Britannic, you must talk to different people on the boat before the ship begins to sink. Luckily, the game has kindly extended the amount of time needed before the ship begins to sink, allowing enough time for people to complete the mission. I do not remember what the mission was about since I was pretty stressed on the amount of time I had, but all I remember is that you needed to get a scroll back to the captain of the ship and it flew away. So you need to talk to different crew members around the ship to get it back. Once you do talk to the captain, you get your prize. I did find this egg interesting since you had to know your parts of the ship, and you weren't exactly told where everyone was either. I did find it a bit annoying how you were just running around everywhere, but I do think that having to race against the clock is a great idea. Final rating for Roblox Britannic's egg, 8 out of 10. To obtain the Samurai egg, you must complete the Egg Hunt dungeon and defeat all the enemies along your way to defeat the final boss. Once you beat the boss, you get your egg. I do believe this egg was extremely easy, especially since you had infinite lives, so if you died, you have nothing to worry about except for the timer. One issue I did find was that the mini-boss that was in the game had way too much health. And it took me at least 5 minutes of left-click spamming to eventually kill him. Having this mini-boss, which mind you wasn't even the final boss, causes it to be extremely boring and tedious. I can agree with you if you say the level design is great, and it does add something new to the table, but I do feel like it could have been much better and not as quick spammy. I haven't even gone to the boss yet. The boss model itself is very cool, but the boss still falls a little flat. I can give this game credit though. You can swap out your loadout if one loadout doesn't work for you, or you can take it on with your friends and work all together to get the egg. Even though this egg is based around working with friends and all that good stuff, it's still missing a few key things to make it a great and enjoyable egg. Final rating for Dungeon Quest, 6.5 out of 10. Not sure why they decided to have two games that are almost identical in the Egg Hunt, but whatever. Since we just covered Dungeon Quest, we might as well do this one as well. To obtain the Dragon's Breath, you must complete a list of tasks given to you by a gatekeeper. Once you complete those tasks, you'll unlock a boss fight. These tasks that are given are probably some of the best tasks for a game like this. They're very easy to complete. First mission is to kill 10 monsters and beat one dungeon. Doing these two tasks takes less than 5 minutes to do, and the boss itself isn't even that hard. But that's where the points start to come off. The boss itself, it looks extremely cool, just like Dungeon Quest, but the overall difficulty of the boss is even easier than Dungeon Quest. The boss's attacks only do maybe about 3 damage to you each time, making it near impossible for it to kill you. It took me less than a minute to kill it, and I believe it causes the score to drop a little, but not as much as Dungeon Quest's score. Overall, this game makes it very good for players to get attached to the game, and shows them a game that they may have never played before. Final rating for Treasure Quest, 7 out of 10. To get the egg-centric time capsule, you must complete the heist map to obtain the egg. And that's it. Nothing too special, except how it's another bland, complete blank to get the egg. However, this egg is quite an exception. You actually have to get the map, and the map is randomly spawned around every 4 rounds. Plus, the map isn't exactly easy either. Okay, there's a good range of difficulty and requires some skill, but I still believe that the egg is rather boring while you have to wait for the map to appear. Yes, it shows the game to an audience who might not play it, but I also believe that some of the maps in the game just make you feel extremely bored, which may cause some people to just not play the game to get the egg. Final rating for Speed Race, 7.5 out of 10. I personally do not understand this game at all, and I just joined for the egg. Basically, to get the egg of the Shard Seeker, you just have to grab 2 keys that are spawned in specific locations in the map and open a door. My friend showed me how to get them, which made it even easier, but that's besides the point. I think that this egg could have used the actual shard mechanics that are within the game. Maybe had to find a specific shard found around somewhere. I'm not sure since I don't really understand the game either. Basically, this egg is a bit boring and it's stale just like the rest of the other eggs that require you to find some items around the map. Final rating for Shard Seekers, 5 out of 10. Dragon Adventures is actually quite a cool game if you ask me. Going into it, I was thinking it would be this random RP dragon game, but it was actually a very cool adventure game. Anyways, to get the Dragon Adventure Egg, you must first complete the tutorial if you haven't already, and talk to this big dragon in the main hub world. She will tell you to go save her babies from this big bunny, and tell you where they exactly are. Once you're in this world, you must collect 3 pieces of a broken map to tell you where the cave is. Once you find the cave, you must complete a series of puzzles. These puzzles are server-based, so you can get a few friends to help you, like me, but with random people. I love these puzzles, and I think they're easily some of the best this event has to offer. Once you complete the puzzles, you use your dragons to attack this big bunny boss. And this fight is actually quite intense. You can take a lot of damage from it, and it's quite fun if I were to be honest with you. The only flaw I do find in this egg is the boss. It's extremely easy to find a weak point where you can't get damage, and just constantly hit it, causing it to die in a matter of minutes. Otherwise, I do believe this egg was amazing, and I'd love to see these devs get another shot at it. Final rating for Dragon Adventures, 9 out of 10. And that's all of them. If you're counting the entire time, you probably would have only counted 47 games, and there's actually 49 of them. The thing is, I did miss 2 games due to an error in my spreadsheet, and I only realized after the event was fully over. Those games were Break-In and Whatever Floats Your Boat. Luckily, a friend of mine completed it, but I cannot give a full opinion on them since I did not play those games. Long story short, my friend gave them a 9 out of 10 for Break-In and an 8 out of 10 for Whatever Floats Your Boat, respectively. Now, it's time for the average score for the Egg Hunt. If you take all the scores, but not counting the 2 I missed and Royal High's score, and divide by 46, you get a 6.3 out of 10 average. I mean, that's not terrible for 46 games that are counted for. There were a few terrible eggs, but in this case, the pluses outweigh the negatives here. Some of the eggs were very great as well, and I do believe games like Build a Boat for Treasure and Dragon Adventures are perfect for the Egg Hunt games. Even though we didn't get a perfect Egg Hunt we all wanted, at least we got something bearable. Whew, that was a bit crazy, wasn't it? Well, if you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and possibly even like the video. I'm hoping to upload more higher quality videos like this, and I actually have time put into the editing and writing of these videos. I also have a Twitter and a Discord group where I'm making a few different games with my friend. Links to those are all in the description below. Thanks all for watching, and see you in about 6 months when I next upload. See you later.